Market competition forces corporations to maximize profit margins by eliminating their largest operating expense, which is human labor. Industrial automation replaced human muscle power with machines, but cognitive automation directly replaces the human brain within digital workflows. Generating a complex legal document or financial analysis now costs a fraction of a cent in computational electricity. Software scales infinitely without requiring health insurance, payroll taxes, physical office space, or human rest cycles. Modern white-collar work consists of transferring data between spreadsheets, emails, and corporate databases through standardized software interfaces. Advanced language models function as central routers that can interpret unstructured text and execute database commands without human intervention. Document analysis traditionally required teams of junior paralegals checking compliance regulations over several weeks of intensive manual labor. Automated retrieval systems parse millions of legal pages in seconds to identify regulatory violations with higher statistical accuracy than humans. Financial analysts spend hours building spreadsheet models to project corporate earnings and assess market risks for investment decisions. Neural networks ingest real-time global transaction data to generate predictive financial models instantly, rendering manual forecasting obsolete. Eliminating entry-level analytical roles destroys the traditional corporate apprenticeship pipeline, where senior executives acquire fundamental industry knowledge. Customer service departments previously managed large teams using script trees to resolve repetitive user inquiries through phone and chat. Voice and text agents now resolve complex consumer disputes autonomously by accessing user history and internal company databases simultaneously. Computer programming shifts from manual syntax writing to high-level architectural design and system verification using generative code models. A single software engineer using automated coding agents can deploy and maintain applications that previously required a full development team. Corporate marketing departments replace graphic designers and copywriters with generative systems that produce personalized advertisements for individual consumers. Algorithms analyze consumer browsing metrics to instantly compile targeted visual and textual marketing materials optimized for maximum conversion probability. Middle managers traditionally monitor employee performance, assign tasks, and aggregate status reports for senior executive leadership teams. Operational software now tracks productivity metrics, distributes tasks dynamically, and evaluates worker performance without human managerial oversight. The removal of middle management layers flattens the corporate hierarchy, concentrating operational control in fewer senior executive hands. Capitalism inherently favors companies with massive proprietary data sets because training advanced automated systems requires clean, domain-specific information. Large corporations accumulate data feedback loops that starve smaller competitors of the necessary resources to compete effectively, transforming competitive markets into unassailable technological monopolies. When intelligence becomes an asset controlled via capital investments rather than human employment contracts, the profits generated by automation flow entirely to technology owners. This dynamic accelerates global wealth inequality as the economic returns to labor plummet, while the returns to software capital skyrocket across all industries. Economic history shows technological shifts eventually create new employment sectors, but cognitive automation operates at a speed and scale that completely outpaces human retraining capacity. Displaced administrative workers face immediate downskilling into physical service jobs that cannot yet be automated cost-effectively by machinery. Commercial real estate markets depend heavily on high-density white-collar employment within urban financial districts to sustain office building valuations. As remote digital autonomous agents replace office workers, commercial vacancy rates climb steeply, disrupting municipal tax bases and surrounding urban retail ecosystems. The oversupply of intellectual labor displaced from automated sectors creates intense competition for the remaining human roles, driving down average wages across the entire knowledge economy. Specialized workers must accept lower corporate compensation packages or face persistent structural unemployment within a highly optimized marketplace. Corporations retain human workers primarily for legal accountability and ethical liability mitigation, rather than operational capability. These remaining human overseers review automated outputs to sign off on compliance documentation, absorbing professional and legal risk while the core intellectual production is performed entirely algorithmically. Generative systems are trained by ingesting massive digital libraries of human-created text, code, and artwork without direct financial compensation to the original creators. This process effectively subsidizes the development of corporate automation technology using the very human labor that the technology intends to replace completely.
Developing nations that built economic growth models around outsourced white-collar tasks like back-office data entry and software testing lose their competitive advantage. Local automated cloud infrastructure operates closer to corporate decision-makers, eliminating the latency, language barriers, and geopolitical risks of international outsourcing. Higher education systems continue training students for traditional analytical roles that will be completely automated before standard graduation cycles finish. Universities face structural financial crises as the market value of specialized degrees in corporate finance, corporate law, and administration declines rapidly due to technological ubiquity.
Healthcare systems utilize automated processing pipelines to handle insurance billing, patient scheduling, and medical record transcription without human administrative staff. This reduction in administrative overhead lowers operational friction, but consolidates systemic control within proprietary healthcare management platforms that dictate care parameters based on algorithmic statistical outcomes. Human resource departments automate candidate sourcing, resume screening, and initial interviewing through predictive behavioral evaluation algorithms. This systemic filtering removes human emotional bias, but introduces mechanical biases based on historical training data, fundamentally reshaping the demographic and cultural composition of modern corporate workforces. While corporate productivity increases exponentially due to automated efficiency gains, aggregate consumer purchasing power may stagnate if aggregate wage income declines significantly. A consumer capitalist economy requires workers with disposable income to purchase the high-volume products and services that automated corporations produce. State governments face declining income tax revenues from white-collar salaries, forcing a structural shift toward taxing corporate automation infrastructure directly. Emerging policy proposals for automation taxes or sovereign wealth funds aim to capture a share of capital returns to redistribute to permanently displaced labor populations. Individual survival in an automated capitalist economy requires focusing on non-routine physical skills, complex interpersonal negotiation, or direct capital ownership. Specializing in highly regulated fields, where legal mandates strictly require human physical signatures, offers the most reliable temporary protection from rapid algorithmic displacement. Executive boards increasingly rely on predictive algorithms to guide corporate mergers, capital allocation strategies, and international market expansion decisions. The role of the chief executive officer transforms from intuitive leadership to algorithmic data interpretation, risk verification, and final execution of automated strategic recommendations. Open-source language models challenge corporate monopolies by providing powerful automation tools directly to small businesses and independent operators. This democratization decentralizes the capabilities of cognitive automation, allowing hyper-efficient micro-enterprises to compete directly with massive established corporations without requiring large capital investments. Automated white-collar workflows introduce new systemic vulnerabilities to adversarial prompt injection, data poisoning, and automated corporate espionage. Corporate defense strategies shift away from traditional perimeter network security toward continuous algorithmic auditing, autonomous threat mitigation systems, and cryptographic verification of all internal communications. As synthetic text and media saturate the digital landscape, a premium consumer market emerges for verified, human-created products. Wealthy consumers pay higher prices for manual human interaction, certified organic creative goods, and unautomated advisory services, creating a parallel luxury economy based entirely on human scarcity.
The widespread displacement of white-collar professionals forces a fundamental renegotiation of the social contract between capital owners and citizens. Capitalist democracies must develop new economic stabilization mechanisms to manage the systemic supply-demand imbalances caused by near-zero marginal cost intellectual production capacity.
Logistics and supply chain management completely eliminate human procurement officers by linking inventory monitoring sensors directly to automated ordering algorithms. These systems track consumption metrics in real time, negotiate prices with automated supplier platforms, and arrange shipping routes without any human intervention or paper-based verification. Project management software now builds timelines, assigns microtasks to developers, and tracks sprint completion velocities using predictive models. The software identifies operational bottlenecks automatically, reschedules deadlines dynamically, and sends automated notifications, rendering human project managers completely redundant in digital product development workflows. Insurance underwriting shifts from manual actuarial review to automated risk-scoring engines that ingest real-time telematics and behavioral metrics. These algorithms evaluate insurance applications instantly, adjust premium pricing dynamically based on micro-risk fluctuations, and issue policies without requiring human actuarial oversight or manual data entry. Corporate tax compliance is fully streamlined by integrating enterprise accounting databases directly with automated tax filing software modules. These systems apply updated international tax codes dynamically, identify optimal deduction strategies, and submit audit proofs to government agencies without human accountants preparing statements. Real estate brokerage platforms automate property matching, contract generation, and escrow coordination through decentralized smart contract applications. These systems analyze buyer preferences, verify financial records instantly, and execute property transfers without requiring traditional human agents or manual escrow processing fees. Research and development departments employ autonomous simulation agents to discover new chemical compounds, test engineering designs, and analyze performance data. These automated frameworks run millions of parallel virtual experiments daily, bypassing slow physical testing phases and accelerating innovation pipelines without human laboratory assistance. Corporate public relations departments automate crisis monitoring and press release generation using sentiment analysis algorithms that track global media trends. These systems detect reputational threats instantly, draft tailored corporate statements, and distribute them to media networks without requiring human communication specialists. The traditional corporate architecture, consisting of vast departments, multiple management tiers, and regional offices, collapses into lean technological nodes. Future multi-million-dollar enterprises will operate with fewer than 10 human employees, leveraging vast networks of specialized digital agents to manage complex global operations. The transition from human white-collar labor to cognitive capital represents the final optimization phase of free market capitalism. Longevity in this economy belongs to those who adapt to system architecture, control proprietary data streams, or maintain equity in the automated infrastructure driving the global market.